Hey, we are back. I did do a recipe for this shrimp and grits, but my husband ended up calling me, and I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. Y'all, ooh, I'm sorry. I just wasn't feeling it, y'all. So I'm gonna do this quick review, right quick scan around, let y'all see what my shrimp and grits look like. Now, the shrimp, um, sauce, the shrimp with the sauce, I got this from my sister Delilah. She from Florida, from that south, and Delilah be getting down with the get down. I don't put everything in mine that Delilah put in it, but in my shrimp sauce, I cut up one red bell pepper, one whole shallot. Um, I stir fried that first. I cooked my sausage. I just had some pork Italian sausage that I made into balls, and I cooked that down. Once that was finished cooking, I took it out the pan and poured out most of the oil. I left a little bit in there to cook the peppers and the shallots. And so once I did that and I was ready, I put in my red peppers. It was chopped up, and my chopped up shallots. Cook that down. Then I cut up two small, medium-sized heirloom tomatoes. I use fresh tomatoes. You can use whatever tomato if you want to use the crushed in the can. That is on you. I like to cook with fresh ingredients when possible, as long as it's not too much. So I use two. I cut up two Roma. I mean not Roma. Heirloom tomatoes. I put those in, and once I put that in, I let it cook for about maybe a minute or less. Then I put in a dollop of my whipped cream. My dollop may be a little bit bigger than yours, so it was a big dollop of whipped cream. Mixed it up, and once I mixed it up, I poured in my cooked, chopped up bacon. I had already cooked. I cooked it in the oven. You can cook it however you like. I chopped it up real good. And once I poured that in, I put in my sausage. And the sauce wasn't as saucy, so what I did was I still had some half and half um, that I've used to top off my grits to make it just a little bit more creamier. And I'll talk about that later, but I poured, uh, I want to say maybe about a half a cup of half and half in the mixture, just to loosen it up and give me more of a cream sauce. And I did put a little bit more sour cream in it, and after that I let it cook, stirring it up for about a minute, and then I added my shrimp. You want to add your shrimp last because they don't take long to cook. I used raw shrimp, so they had to cook. And that was my shrimp sauce, and then I just let it sit, turned it down low and let it sit until the shrimp were ready. And voila, now my grits. I used the yellow corn grits. I got them from Sprouts. Um, I basically used 3 cups of water, 3 cups of milk, and 1.5 cups of the yellow corn grits. I cooked it in my Dutch oven pot. I love the Dutch oven, one, because it cooks like a slow cooker, but faster, much faster than a slow cooker. You can use it in the oven and on top of the stove. So, sorry, Rory, my son is praying for his dinner. But you can use it on top of the stove or in the oven. So I love my Dutch oven. I cook everything from stews to meats, everything in that Dutch oven. And I didn't pay a lot of money for it. I think it's a Martha Stewart one I got some years ago from Macy's. If it was $40, those Dutch ovens can be very expensive. But So I let that cook, and then once it got really creamy, I poured in my half and half. I probably used about, I don't know. I I just poured it in until it got to my consistency. Also, in my grits, I use chicken stock. So I put in about 2.5 small spoons of my chicken stock. I use this type of chicken stock. Y'all always see me show this. And I use about 2.5 spoons of that chicken stock. And it just mixes in. You just take it and put it in the pot. There's no need to mix it with the water if you don't want to or whatever. And so once it cooked down and it got creamy and I poured my half and half in and made it, to the creamy consistency that I wanted it, I just let it cook down some. And towards the end, I added a little bit of cheese. I use Velveeta because that's what I had on hand, but you can use whatever cheese you want that you may have on hand. I just used a little bit because the chicken stock really gives it a nice flavor, so you don't want to overpower it with a bunch of cheese, in my opinion. Um, and then once it was finished and I just put it on low, I added, a little bit of butter to the pot. And here you go, shrimp and grits. So I hope you like what you see, baby. Shout out to my girl Delilah. I know she be on here watching because she made that her version of my what you call that stuff? Shrimp with the garlic sauce or whatever. I don't know. My brain is fried. So yeah, this is my dinner. I got about a minute left on here before my memory run out. And so thank y'all for watching. Thank you for subscribing. Please leave your comments in the box below. Let me know if you try my recipe and make it your own. You know what I'm saying? I made it my own. Delilah gave me this recipe for the shrimp sauce and I made it my own. So make it your own. Add in it what you want. Take out what you want. And don't forget to give me that thumbs up. Where's my thumb? And peace. Peace. Tomorrow is Friday, so happy Friday.